TIFU by letting one rip in front of my boyfriend. I've, 21F, been seeing my boyfriend, 25M, for almost a year now, and he's a pretty good guy. He's just a little more proper than me. He won't fart or burp in front of me, and he probably expected me to never burp or fart in front of him. I've told him though that I think farts are hilarious, and my family farts in front of each other all the time, and my grandpa even rates them out of 10. Since my BF finds it disgusting, though I haven't shown him my full fart potential, until today. We had eaten Mexican food earlier, and it wasn't agreeing with me super well. And I had to pass the gas pretty bad, but my BF was with me in the kitchen. I had to think of a diversion and asked him if he could take the trash out for me. He said yes and took it out the door. He wasn't even gone a second when I ripped one that almost vibrated the house. I was glad that he didn't witness the mass destruction of my pants, but when I turned around he was staring at me from the back door. He forgot to put his shoes on and was coming back in. I've never seen such disgust on a face before, but he definitely thinks I'm nasty now. I think my grandpa would have given me a thumbs up and 10 out of 10 on that one though. Update, thank you to everyone that finds farts as funny as me. But after he came back in the house from taking out the trash, he didn't even acknowledge my magnificent foghorn fart. I did tell my grandpa about it though, and he was proud of me. TLDR farted in front of my boyfriend, and he's probably gonna leave me now.
Farts are never not funny. Girl who also farts.
See, they're hilarious.
First date, I held her hair back while she puked. If he leaves you over a you definitely deserve better.
Your boyfriend might be wound a little bit tight. I have always farted around my wife. I am all polite and about it. I always say excuse me. Lol. Your almost shook the house. I love it.
Good lord, he needs to chill out a bit. What's he going to do when he has kids, and they're peeing and pooping and farting all over?
Greater than I was glad that he didn't witness the mass destruction of my pants. Did you shart?
A 25-year-old man who cannot handle a natural body movement has a lot more problems than his girlfriend's indigestion. You should be able to around your partner, as long as you say, excuse me, or safety, or you might want to open a window.
Meanwhile, my fiancé just walked up to me, lifted his leg, and ripped the loudest cheek clapping I've ever heard. He said, I had that brewing all day just for.
My sweet grandmother was born in 1888. She died at age 98 in 1987. There has never been a more polite and socially acceptable during the time that little me spent with her in the late 70s and 80s. She would occasionally let one rip, and with a straight face, she would say, better out than she would smile. Closing parenthesis. Edit. Lest I miss the point of the OP's original dilemma, my grandmother was married for 60 years and had 9 children, so apparently her occasional exercise of bodily functions did nothing to dissuade my grandpa from sticking around.
I imagine he'd have a problem with queefing as well. Which, as a guy, is his problem, because if he's pumping that much air in her, he better enjoy the flute as it plays.
I'd say it depends on his upbringing. TBH. As a 22-year-old woman, I don't even dare to do it in front of my friends or family because of the way I was raised. Much less in front of a partner. And while of course I would never tell someone else what they can or cannot do with their body, I wouldn't be able to help the reaction I have if they did it in front of me though.
He could have given anyone that but he saved it for they say chivalry is dead.
Our first date, her nose stud fell out and she couldn't put it back in. So there I am with my finger in her nose trying to guide her nose ring back in. It's been 3 years so far.
When I was a child, I would get a beating from my mother for passing gas. It was absolutely not allowed. Even my abusive father never passed gas. I grew up never farting in front of anyone and would be mortified. As an adult, I understand gas happens, but it is not something I find humorous. Your BF may have grown up in that type of household. Just adding another perspective.
What? Have you never had to so hard that the back of your pants blasted off and left a thermal shadow on the wall? You won't get a 10 out of 10 from Grandpa, I'll tell you that.
Greater than what? Have you never had to so hard that the back of your pants blasted off and left a thermal shadow on the wall? Do you think I'm asking if it was bad or *BAAD*? It's one thing to let out one that sounds juicy, it's entirely different for it to *be juicy. I need to gauge exactly how hard I'm laughing here.
3 years trying to get the nose ring back in?
Send help fingers covered in boogers, slowly losing hope.
I got you, bro. I'll sacrifice a finger so yours can rest.
When my wife and I first started dating, she insisted that if I needed to that I should go to the bathroom. Being a bachelor previous to dating her, my house was definitely simple. The bathroom near the living room had nothing to dampen the echoes. So we're watching a movie and I have to so bad, so I go to the bathroom. That MF was long and reverberated off the 4 walls, and I'm in there like, why didn't I go to the bathroom farthest from the living room? To top it off, I exited hastily and the smell followed me back to the couch.
I had an ex that would go to a Walmart down the road to for the first couple months of our relationship. I finally asked why she was constantly buying razors and body wash so she came clean. I couldn't stop laughing. I felt bad, but I didn't think I'd ever given her any signals that I didn't think she was human. She finally started pooping at my place, but if she didn't overcorrect to make up for lost time. Just constant walking farts.
I think I've heard my mum once. I'm 40. It never stopped us boys, I'm one of 3, from living up to our full potential. I've passed it on to my children. My daughter even keeps a tally of how many farts she's done in each room of her grandmother's house.
My great-gran was born in 1901. She proudly stated, "Wherever you may be, let your wind go free. Farting is normal and proper. Some people are weird about it."
Are you serious? Beatings for bodily functions? I'm so sorry for what you've been through.
My wife says my loud farts make her feel comfy and finds them reassuring. Needless to say, I love her.
First date, brand new car. Take her to a restaurant, she has 2 drinks. I tell her she doesn't look well, we should pull over. She assures me she is fine and all of a sudden grabs her jacket and throws up all over it, and my new, wasn't her jacket, it was mine, married 9 years now.
First date, she peed her pants. We got 2 kids now.
And they say chivalry is dead. Doomfist.
Saying she actually passed out in the lobby of her hotel, and I used a luggage cart to wheel her to her room, been married 10 years.
I woke myself up with a the other day as I was snoozing on the couch. Not gonna lie, it was a bad I woke up, I could just see the look of horror plastered across my BF's face, followed by the biggest snort laugh I've ever seen come out of him. 12 years together this year, red heart.
Greater than the smell usually is. I fully disagree. Dogs or cats gagging at the smell of your farts is always hilarious. Also, when you rip one so bad even you can't appreciate your own brand? Farting is an art form, my friend.
Minus the beatings and home, but I am the same. I find farts gross and can't fathom why people find humor in it because of how I grew up. Basically, it was considered ill-mannered to pass gas in front of people, and people I knew, even in friend groups, were kinda the same. I was just never introduced to that kind of as an adult. I know it happens, and my wife still does it around me occasionally. We both try to hold it or hide it when we can, but doesn't always work. I've gotten better with it as time. I hope people don't judge Ops BF too harshly. Dude may just never have been given that perspective before or had a crappy home life like you did.
Whenever my girlfriend rips one, I laugh, then she laughs. It's never not funny.
If he has kids.
It was only a finger, the killers, probably.
Meanwhile, my boyfriend and I debate on the shape of our farts based on their sounds. Once he had a that, and I you not, made the perfect sphere sound as if it was a sound effect you'd hear in a movie. Perfect and most rounded ever.
My dad would burp and then say, "Looks like that took the elevator."
My entire family will choose a victim and near them. Every time. Dog's been a recently, so my dad's just been slowly approaching him and then letting out and blasting.
If they don't let you you let them depart.
I farted myself awake the first night I spent with my partner. His response was, "It's free reign now," then proceeds to drop his guts. We've been together 5 years now.
My girlfriend accidentally farted in my mouth when I was eating her. If I can keep a relationship going after that, your boyfriend can keep it after a single far away from him.
The first time I heard my mom it felt like witnessing a miracle. Me and my siblings applauded.
Better out the attic than the basement is what my folks used to say.
Imagine catching a hand for sneezing.
We have a policy that at home, you get to be comfortable, so unless you are dropping nasty gut rot stinkers, let them fly. There is no reason for two adults who have seen each other's assholes to be bothered by a.
Yeah, if you let the basement gases build, it's gonna everyone.
You win.
My grandpa's go-to when any of the grandkids would is, well, your cough sounds better, but your breath smells the same.
Is that how it works?
Better to burp and taste it than and waste it.
About 2 months into dating, my partner was giving me a back massage and was sitting on my butt and decided it would be hilarious for their first time farting in front of me would be to into my. It'll be 5 years this year.
This reminds me of my daughter. She was almost 4 years old at the time. I came home from work, and she ran up to me, crying hysterically. So naturally I picked her up and held her, and asked what was wrong. She had apparently been holding a for me when I got home, but when she heard the door open and started running, she let it rip by accident. She was so devastated that she didn't get to on me,